Welcome to the Daily for Friday, August 12th with Simon Borg. I'm Jason Segini. Philadelphia has been in the soccer news all week with the debut of Jurgen Klinsmann, the U.S.-Mexico friendly, and now Freddy Adu signing with the Philadelphia Union. Simon, at this point yesterday, we were talking about Adu going to Chivas USA.
And the reason is Chivas USA were at the top of the allocation ranking, and they passed on Benny Feilhaber previously. They passed on Freddy Adu reportedly because Jorge Vergara, the owner, decided that Adu didn't fit in the plans and maybe he was too high a price tag for the team. So they passed Philadelphia. They jumped all over it. In Philadelphia, they're a championship caliber team, and maybe all they needed was the one player who can maybe be the face of the team, and Adu, arguably, biggest name in American soccer after Landon Donovan.
This reunites the 22-year-old attacking midfielder with his former coach, Peter Novak from DC United. We'll see what they can do together a second time around. Even before they signed Adu, Philadelphia was probably in the marquee matchup this weekend. Second place in the East against second place in the West as they host FC Dallas. And of course, Brek Shea, big performance on Wednesday night after a dip in play earlier in MLS.
Yeah, Brek Shea and Zach Lloyd both staying in Philadelphia, waiting for the team to join them ahead of the match at PPL Park. This could very well be MLS Cup in LA later on in November. But for Philadelphia, after signing Adu, you gotta believe the pressure is ratcheted up just a little bit more. So this is going to be major for them.
Yeah, Philadelphia is chasing Columbus Crew, who are in first place in the Eastern Conference. But there's really a glut of teams in the Eastern Conference right now. 1 through 6 in the East is separated by only 7 points. And the team at the bottom there, DC United, has a good chance at making a run right now. And it starts with a home game against Vancouver.
Jason, Vancouver coming off a big win, 4-2 at home last weekend against the Chicago Fire. But the theme in this game, the goalkeepers. Vancouver, there's a decision to be made by interim head coach Tom Sohn whether to go with Jay Nolly or Joe Cannon. Jay Nolly getting the start in that win last weekend. And then for DC United, Bill Hamid, who was with the U.S. national team in Philadelphia, he's going to have to sit out. He received a red card last weekend, but Steve Cronin, who came on for him, had a little bit of a shaky game against Toronto FC. It's going to be interesting to see whether they go with their third string or whether they give the confidence to the veteran Cronin.
All right, we're going to move to the Western Conference. The first game of the weekend, 4 p.m. Eastern time, Seattle Sounders hosting Chivas USA at CenturyLink Field, and Seattle looking to get a couple players back.
Few players are coming back for them. John Kennedy Hurtado and O'Brien White, they will at least see the bench against Chivas USA. The other big name, Brad Evans, coming back maybe for the Champions League game in midweek. But Seattle, a very strong season. They get to play at home. Chivas USA putting together quietly a very good season, playing very good soccer, led by Nick LaBroca. And they're going to be a team that no one's going to want to face in the playoff round.
Speaking of playoffs, there's another game with big playoff implications on Sunday night, 9 p.m. on Galavision. The Houston Dynamo hosting the Portland Timbers, and there's a subplot here involving the coaches.
Yeah, John Spencer, manager of the Portland Timbers, returning to Houston, where he served as an assistant coach under Dominic Kinnear for a few years with Houston. But there's no time for fraternity meetings here between these two teams because they're going to be competing for a wild card spot come the end of the season. Both teams roughly around the same number of points.
All right, for a full slate of games, log on to MLSsoccer.com. As always, want to mention Extra Time Radio yesterday. You can get it on iTunes or Buzzsprout. We had Brian Strauss from the Sporting News. We also had new Montreal head coach Jesse Marsch.
Brian Strauss telling us the good and the bad of that game, the 1-1 tie against Mexico. And then Jesse Marsch going into detail about how he plans to start working on the Montreal Impact and prepare them for their first season in MLS next year.
All right, that's all we have for the Daily. Enjoy the weekend of MLS action. We'll be back on Monday.